And good to have you back with us on Upfront. I'm blessed and of course grateful to have Ya Sewa Sapon, who is SML Director Support Service, joining us here on Upfront. And of course, yeah, it's good to see you joining us after a busy schedule, I believe, throughout the day. Yeah. But SML obviously has been the talk of the nation. There are a lot of people wondering exactly what services you render in the first place, knowing that Ghana is at a crossroads now. We need more funds, we need more revenue. Which, of course, will feed into the development agenda.
Yes.
But your story has not been out there for quite some time. Let's get a true picture of perhaps what you are involved in and how you support state agencies such as the Ghana Revenue Authority to show up revenue. Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. Definitely. That's what we do, revenue assurance for Ghana Revenue Authority. So what we offer transaction audit and external price verification services, downstream petroleum audit, and we are now about to start. We have not been given the green light yet, but we have contract for it to go to the upstream petroleum and solid minerals to do audit as well. So we are a wholly owned Ghanaian company. We specialize in revenue assurance using high-tech, first of its kind innovation to deliver the solutions for GRA. So mainly what we do for GRA is to enable them to be able to fully function efficiently to actualize the revenue mobilization mandate that we've given to them as a nation. That is what we do. That is SML. Now, we have about SML, we have a lot to talk about. We were incorporated in 2017 and started operations in 2018. Like I have said earlier, our expertise is in revenue assurance, monitoring, and specialized audit services. We have a value proposition. And what this is that a balanced risk-reward business model structure. What this means is that the whole work that we do, when we sign contract with government, we said we are going to bear all the burden, the financial burden, we are going to bear it. What government does is just to enjoy the benefits we bring, the solution that we bring, the revenue that we generate. Government takes 95% if we are to put it in 100% term. Government takes 95%, gives SML 5%. From that 5% is how it includes our our needs assessment, the research we made to do this, the piloting stage, going live, maintenance, updates, because we do with a lot of software. So all of these things come into paying for what we receive from government in the 5%. That is rare. And we say that is rare because most government contracts will take, they will take about 30% mobilization fee, even before we start anything. We've not taken a peso. Everything we are going to show to Ghana now, government has not invested in it. It's from our pockets. And what we want to say is that even with the materials that we import to do the work we do, one would think that you are working with GRA. So you have some tax exempt. We are not even, yes, we are not, no, we pay for everything. That shows that we are not in to take from government, but rather it's a dedication to contribute to the growth of the nation. That is one of the value propositions we bring on board. The second one is the real-time monitoring and data capturing systems. Every solution we deliver is in real time. In real time means as it is happening. So for instance, if, as we speak now, if the depots are not closed and they are still lifting petroleum products, we know because the data is sent from the field to the data facility center. So we can see what's going on. That is real time. In real time, we can be able to tell, for instance, if GRA closes today, because of the real time inside, they know which OMC has lifted what, at where across the country, because we are monitoring across the country. Boga, Bupe, Takoradi, everywhere there is a depot. we have our instrumentation there.
That brings up the question as to capacity and how you actually do that. What sort of systems do you have which beats any other pre-existing structure that may have existed either in the GRA framework or anywhere else?
Yeah. So what is special is that we have deployed field technology, and we have the data, the software technology, and we've seamlessly integrated the two. The systems in the country now, the services that is given, you can either have the field deployment or the software deployment. You will not get the two fused without human intervention. But that's not the case with SML. Every information we are collecting from the depots are transmitted through secure satellite systems to the data center, where the software, our flagship software, is called SML Experience. SML Experience does its own totalization, do the reconciliation that is supposed to be done, and churn out the reports, inform GRA in real time. For instance, the expected tax for today. For all the liftings that has gone across the country, GRA knows at a click of a button. That was rare. It was everything we have given to GRA. It was a dream come true. Like it was a technological dream, and we've delivered that. That is what sets us apart. To fuse the field technology with the software development. It's taking years for this to be done. It's taking years to develop a software. And one thing about the Ghana downstream is that it's owned by private people, the bulk distributors. And so the depots are owned by private people. So you cannot have two depots that have the same architecture design. That means that whatever you are doing for every depot, they need to be customized. When you customize this, it means you cannot transfer to the other. So every deployment we've made in all the depots are customized. When we bring their goods, you can't give it to any, even if it's in, there is
so
an
the technology is there. Let's get then to perhaps, and you might want to, move us.
The experience,
the experience, some of the challenges that practically GRA was facing at the time, and the innovative solutions you're bringing on board to tackle that. Lack of independent metering, which was a key issue in terms of the lifting, and I'm not sure that entirely it's out of the sector. You agree?
Which one? Sorry.
The metering.
Yes. You are dealing with flow. You need a check meter in every system where we have the resources. There is a main meter in Ghana's downstream, which is the depots meter. And then we will have a check meter that checks what the main meter is recording. So we have a double of the information. So when one is not functioning, the check meter is there. But in the case of GRA, when we came to the downstream, and pretty much for government, we have GRA being the tax man and NPA being the regulators. None of them had meters. So they relied on the business people's meter. So you are doing business with me, and I'm using my scale to measure the product we are selling. There is need for you to have your own meter. And GRA, being the taxman, having the critical issue. At the time when we came into downstream, which is in May, the revenue leakage was fast becoming a national security issue. When we get later on into the figures,
you show us
I will show you.
Because I was going to ask the question about people who are skeptical, first of all, about technological interventions. Some say that, well, if you bring the technology, you still need the human being, excuse my language, to be there to monitor and to check. Because if you don't do that, people could bypass the system. That's been, pre-existing.
Right. So technology has advanced. We are in generative AI, where we are even going into integrative AI. So the system, SML system, don't need human intervention. For instance, where we are talking about technology with metering, when we start showing the video, I will show the tanks that GR 20 feet tanks. If you've been to a depot, you know 20 feet tank is bigger than this room. They climb it up in the morning to go and measure the petroleum products with dipsticks. In the evening to do same. Now, these are the tanks.
Okay,
Imagine climbing to use a dipstick to measure the petroleum product sitting here. You know?
Practically, you're saying human intervention wouldn't have done that.
That was the manual way of doing things.
It, yeah.
It's not right. We are in 21st century. We have tax GRA to take tax for us. We need to be able to enable them to be able to fully function. And in today's business, if you want to fully function, if you want to be efficient, I don't think climbing this tank to go and use dipstick is the solution. What we have done is that we have brought in metering systems, the ultrasonic flow meters that we have strapped. As the video goes on, when we see it, I will let the producers pause it. We've brought that because the infrastructure was already built. You can do nothing than not.
I believe this is what you're talking about.
These are deployments. So these are power station where we want to ensure, these are batteries, we have solar. We want to ensure that at every point in time, even when there is electric cut at the depots, we will have power. So that is one of the deployments we want to show. We want to show this because in some, information that has been given out there, SML is virtually doing nothing for money.
Right.
So we want the gun. So these are ultrasonic flow meters. Now, what you see here are the pipes where the product flows. They are flowing from the tanks to the gantry where the trucks pick the product and go to sell to us. We've strategically positioned these meters.
Right.
So every drop of fuel that moves from the tank into the truck are captured. So what that means is that there is no fuel that is not accounted for.
Okay, we'll come to the cost element and how much you're saving the country. But are you saying practically that the industry and, of course, private sector players, they are not popes, they are not bishops, so obviously they are not holy, as I should say. Are you telling us that this system prevents any of these private sector participators in the downstream sector to bypass the system in terms of revenue assurance?
Because you are flowing products.
Right.
And if you have, it's more, the meters you saw, it's more like a police on the way stopping illegal people, consignment. If you are flowing in the night, for instance, at this time, GRA is almost closing from the depot.
Right.
Who is going to be there to watch it's a bonded warehouse. Who is going to be there to watch whether there is going to be lifting in the night or not? But when you have the automation, the meters strapped there, can you pause this one from? This is also another important instrument that we need to look at, technology that we need to look at. So when we close and there is no one there, the meters are strategically positioned where the petroleum product is leaving the tanks. So there is no way you can start the pump and put in a truck to fill that we will not record. So if, for instance, we just closed down, we had about 5.6 recorded for the close day. If tomorrow we come and we have 7 or 6 or even 5.8, we know that there has been a flow. The depot is responsible now to pay. They have to answer GRA, the extra that has come to where we closed. So these are ways that is ensuring that nobody is lifting petroleum product in the absence of GRA.
What would you say to someone who's, of course, on the other side, having that notion, as you were just pointing out, that you're basically doing no work and yet you're receiving so much for it? You've pointed out the technology. Is this translating into, say, the figures and perhaps what the state what the state is benefiting from?
Yes. So, for instance, this is the automatic tank gauging system. It's sitting on top of the tank. At every point in time, it's measuring the linear quantity of petroleum products that are in the tank. What this is doing is that it's sharing to us the stock of products we have across the country. And we have in real time the balance of every stock. Now GRA has that. That is revenue. Because you know your stock. If, for instance, you have a business At close of business, you know your stock. That's what the women do.